So hello guys and welcome back. So unfortunately B suddenly disappeared on us and was AFK for way too long. So admin just called that he is gonna be forfeiting that. And Kelazhur as well as Krystianer are gonna have a rematch. But the thing to note, this is gonna be still on a BO3 setup instead. And Kelazhur now has a twice to beat advantage of being the champion basically in the upper brackets. So it seems like though we are gonna have our maps set on up, and they are going to be Nightshade LE, Purity and Industry, and Everdream in that order. Bans are Golden Wall, Eternal Empire, Simulacrum, as well as Zen. And now those are going to be very interesting map picks. We do see Nightshade yet again, all about the aggression, all about playing the ramp game. And much of few proxies, it might be all about the rush, but either way, you can see a pretty big fight at the very start. I'm really interested to see Purity and Industry. I'm going to be looking into how the meta is going to be shaking on up. We're going to see some Sky units here and there trying to cross the bridge, trying to cross the gap. And while Everdream, a pretty standard map to play on, just a good way to round things up. But it has been a Terran showdown so far. It has been a Terran really rising up from the ashes and rising up against every single race that there is to offer here in SC2. And well, it's time to get into our grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like our bracket is going to be ending a lot quicker than I expected. And well, it's going to be very interesting to see what the rest of the night is going to be offering for us as we move on in to our first game. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go again. This is the grand finals right now, and our Terran player with the twice to beat advantage. But hey, maybe this guy can actually do it. He did drop down earlier on, but it was some really competitive fights here and there in this TVP. When they're going to get stuff, sometimes when you are on the losing end, you just gotta be tougher. And introducing first on the southeast side of Nightshade LE, it's our pink Protoss, Krystianer. I love the Carbot Pylon. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love it. I actually love it. But hey, Krystianer has shown he had the right decisions from their previous series against Kelazhur. He had the Colossus, he had the Disruptor, he has the high temp. But for Kelazhur, he's just absolutely ridiculous with how he plays things out on the bio. We haven't even introduced the guy yet. He's the man to beat. He's the one with the twice to beat advantage. He's the one all the way hailing from the upper brackets. It's gonna be Angel Gaming EU Zone, Kelazhur. And as we said, this guy the #1 player in Brazil and in the top 50 of the world, and one of the best Terrans you can really expect into the scene. Seems like an Orbital Commando gonna be into the cards already. Onto the natural we go, and we are gonna be seeing a standard game here from Kelazhur as Krystianer. It's very different from what happened between Kelazhur and B. It was all about the rush and how quick that series went. But this time, we have seen earlier on that it can really be a good fight, and Krystianer is gonna be like, "Hello, sir. What are you building there? What is this? This is very interesting. Is this a work of art? Is this an amazing piece de resistance?" And now it's gonna be like the painter getting attacked there as the probe is going after the SCV. The other probe is waiting for the SCV to transition onto the other side, but here comes the Reaper from Kelazhur, and he's looking to really supply pressure at the very start of this game. One probe already going down, the second one looking to make it through, and the depth right now trying to come to that SCV, and in the end, the bunker is not gonna happen. So, Kelazhur trying to do something a little different, as Krystianer has responded already with all the Reaper harassment and the Reaper rushes he's been doing, but putting the pylon as well as all the buildings on the side where the Reaper can get the jump jet on. So the most interesting part actually is the fact that Krystianer is really responding to basically what he has seen from Kelazhur. He's responding to the bio, he's responding to the Reaper, and he is setting things up in a way that he is blockading any kind of mobility options from the Terran side. Nothing to note, especially in some maps, it's really obvious now where the Reaper can really jump. It's very apparent in terms of the creation, and sometimes there's even a marker that says, "Hey, look at me! I'm going to be coming from here. I'm Mr. Meeseeks, and I'm looking to jump to your base." Anyway though, Seems like for Kelazhur, he has turned things over to a 1-1-1 setup again. He does have the orbital commands in so, and he has a Hellion to actually boot. Wouldn't mind gonna be there as well. As soon as the medevac gonna be coming online, he can go for a little bit of drop lay into this one. Now notice though that Kelazhur is going for the standard 1-1-1. He only has a reactor for the barracks, so not much upgrade so far. He will be double pumping out those racks though to get 2 tech labs on, to get the stim back, to get the combat shield, really time things out, to get every single bit of the Marine powerhouse. In the meantime though, here comes the byline now being set, and the gateways are being turned into warp gates as warp gate research is online. Respect any kind of Protoss player that does go for the Observer, but Krystianer gonna be canceling that one out. Feels like he doesn't need it instead. Looks to reinforce the lines, and he's gonna have that Warp Prism bringing in to the middle alongside the Stalkers and the Immortals. A really good comp right now to try and get the push on. Pretty mobile, pretty agile, pretty good in terms of the tankiness with the range advantage as well. But the Marines, of course, they do have guns and they can shoot you from the other side of the map. But here comes trouble right now as Krystianer gonna be bringing in reinforcements. It's a Stalker cycle here and now. SCV's immediate pulled. The bunker is way too late, but on the other side, it's a free Widow Mine drop that does get some value, but still into the front line. Well. Kelazhur caught napping. Can Krystianer keep things up? What a huge pickoff! The Warp Prism is gone! And now, sure, it is gonna be still the Protoss having a substantial force, but Krystianer is not gonna have the ticket ride home. The Immortal will go down immediately as well. What a pickoff there from Kelazhur! Really understanding where to go for the fights. And that is just gonna be enough for the Terran to defend. But still in the meantime, seems like SCVs are dying. 14 of them did go down, with the mines now onto the natural, trying to get dropped, but Krystianer able to respond in time in a good way to get the pull on. So the pull had to hurt there for Kelazhur, but honestly, he has so many workers right now, and because of the Widow Mine drops, he's able to even things out. Now, he has bought himself some time to get that bunker up and running, and it's a really good way to be a little more tanky into this one. Krystianer has to keep himself in the foot. Losing that Warp Prism so early has to hurt in the first place. But in the meantime, you know, the Battle of the Ks and the Rs, Battle of Brazil versus Poland, if I remember correctly. It is just such a super showdown truly here in the Masters Cup qualifier. But hey, you know, here in the EU region, seems like both of our players are good to go. No latency issues whatsoever, and maybe probably Kelazhur is based here because he does have that EU clan tag in to begin with. A supply depot now coming on up. We are going to see the upgrades that we were talking about earlier on. It is a little later than expected because of the push there from Krystianer. The game plan is still solid. The 1-1-1, 1-1 build right now. You got your 1 racks, you got your combat shield, you got your tech lab, you got your +1, and it seems like there's a second engineering bay to go for the second +1. But hey, 3 racks right now, 1 factory, 1 starports. That's pretty much how it is. A really good timing attack here for any Terran player who loves to play the bio. And honestly, for Kelazhur, this is really a big opportunity for him to go for a good blow. ×2 already on the army. Krystianer is desperate to get reinforcements. But slow lots aren't really going to do anything, but he does have that Twilight Cancel getting the research on. Now he might need the Chrono boost in just a bit, just to make sure he will have that upgrade up and running. And +1 on armor. I like the choice, honestly. Because if you go for +1 on weaponry, sure you can kill these Lone Marines a lot quicker. But if you go for a +1 on armor, you're going to be able to mitigate a lot more damage because it's multiple sources hitting you to begin with. Anyway, here for Krystianer, he just wants to buy some time, and picking off the medevac is a good way to go about things. There's a little less healing right now on the side of the Terran, and surprise, here comes the charge out already. Good pincer attack though from the Stalkers in behind. Still though, the star step from Kelazhur, absolutely essential, absolutely magnificent, and besides the initial speed boost, it's gonna be the run on away from the medevacs. Multiple zealots, and you can really see how Kelazhur is playing things out to such a good degree. He's able to get some really good starter step value, and he saves a lot more than he should. Able to get the zone away from the zealots, but the zealots really give chase no matter what until it gets a lock on, until it gets its target. It will keep running at you with just complete impunity. Anyway though, Kelazhur gonna be setting up on the high ground. Meantime, Krystianer running on around. Here comes a drop again, and Kelazhur What a man, looking for all these opportunities, and he is taking every single bit by broken grit. So though, into the front line we go. We have Marauders trying to go for the fights. Good use of the medivacs there to get the load on, but at the same time, you know, a few stalkers might be essential here for Krystianer to keep things up and shut down these medivacs. Blink Stalker though gonna be a pretty good component, but for the time being, the charge dots are enough to just stem the tide and force the medivacs to stay with their load in. But speaking of the load, here comes the unload though from Kelazhur, just being so pesky. And really, this is a big way to play the drop play. Such pesky play, such a nuisance on these mineral lines. And Krystianer having to react in time, but Kelazhur with ×3 on the army, having the better work count. Things are looking really good for the Terran so far. GG is called. It's just not gonna happen. The Blink Stalker is taking way too long, and Kelazhur is 1 win away from moving on into the mid-season playoffs. What a game there. What a show from our Terran. First time he faced off against his opponents, well, he did show how he can play the death ball with the bio. But then, moving on this time, it's all about the drops instead. And truly well played by our Terran player, Krystianer. Just didn't have the right upgrades at the right time. The charge dot was a really, really good choice, honestly, to just get the cleave on, to really go for the chase down and surprise his opponent, which forced Kelazhur to basically play the drop play style, but without getting that Blink Stalker in time, without having a Stargate to really pick off those Medivacs, it just wasn't enough. And the Marauder count, really good there for Kelazhur to mitigate the damage, to also get rid of Stalkers who are just basically walking on the round, and well played truly for a Terran player. I have so many good things to say about Kelazhur, honestly, but Krystianer is no walk in the park as well. He has such a strong macro sense, but unfortunately, when he went for the attack, losing that Warp Prism was just so painful. You could really feel like that is where his chances to put in the aggression, to put in the hurt, really did dissipate. And at the same time, with the drop play, well, just the Widow Mines, just all good to go. Even things out on the SCV count, even with the pull. And well played indeed in that regard. But hey, it's time to move on. It's time to get into another battle. We move into Purity and Industry, and maybe more drop play here from both sides, because that is just a hop, skip, and a jump away to get the other side's main base. But it really is a lot of pressure right now. Can Kelazhur wrap things up here and now and take the Masters Cup qualifier, or will Krystianer be the one to try and go for the comeback? Will it happen? Will it pan out that way? We shall see. The storyline is here, and it's time for our PVT to come up to a head. It's time to get into the action. It's time to get into this matchup, and let's get into this PVT. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go again. This time though, on a very interesting map. It's Purity and Industry coming in to this corner. But first things first, on the east side of Purity and Industry, it's gonna be our Pink Protoss, looking for a comeback, looking to try and really climb from the bottom of the mountain. It's Krystianer. And his opponents. This guy is literally the king on his throne. He has just dominated this bracket all throughout, and is looking so good overall into this bracket. He's one map win away from moving through to the mid-season playoffs. In the Masters Cup qualifier, this guy is really the one to beat, and it is our Terran player, Kelazhur. We've said a lot of good things here about Kelazhur, but Krystianer, as we have also mentioned, has found a number of responses to really face off against the Terran player. But in the end, it just seems like Kelazhur just having the edge, especially on this micro. He's finding so many opportunities by taking different angles of the attack, and when he's met with AoE, he's just able to get on away so quickly. But for Krystianer, macro has been on point, decisions have been on point. But unfortunately, it's just a little too late if he's unable to fight off his opponent in the battleground that Kelazhur chooses, which is really the micro, which is the drops, which is the splits. And for Krystianer, he's a lot more, he's a lot more on the death ball focus. Especially as a Protoss player, you cast your spells, and you should expect to just swoop on in and destroy with an A left click. But hey, I like how Kelazhur is going to be playing things out. This time, he will go for the bunker, and it's not going to get spotted. Here in Purity and Industry, the vision just isn't there. And this probe right now going to be coming on back just to... Oh, that is so close, but he doesn't see it. But hey, the Reaper has been a big component of Kelazhur's success, especially against the Zerg player earlier on. But hey, hearing now the Reaper going for the Ras Adept gonna come on out. And honestly, here for Kelazhur, he has a retreat point. Surprise, surprise to Krystianer, there's a bunker there. And easy tidings for the pistol play. Now this Reaper is basically gonna have a field day here. He can come into the bunker if he needs to save himself and go on out to get the combat drugs to get the healing on. But the Adept, of course, is in position to get the hit yet again. And it seems like this Reaper gonna be staying on the inside for too long. So quarantine is in order. Cluster bomb gonna get tossed in or not. It seems like this guy is just looking to be a pest, but the SCV will go down. No more repairs here in the bunker. And Kelazhur is just buying time for himself. So while this is all happening, he is gonna get his 1-1-1 set up. He has his second base up and running. It's a little difficult here for Krystianer to farm up onto this natural, but the combat drugs do work on the inside, and the Reaper is all topped up and ready to go. What a cheeky maneuver here from our Terran player. Looking for a little more harass, gets 2 probes along the way. And what value there. Pretty impressive stuff from the Terran again. Anyway though, Krystianer right now looking to keep things alive. He's gonna go for the Stargate this time, and he's going for a massive Phoenix kind of a setup. Now I like this here, especially in Purity Industry. Phoenixes are very, very quick. They can move on over to the other end so quickly, even within the inhibitor zones. At the same time though, Marines gonna be a component. We got Vikings on board, and Kelazhur is looking to just make sure he has many responses against whatever the Protoss is trying to do. Anyway though, Stalkers right now looking to come on over. Warp Gate gonna be looking to get online as well. Meantime, Krystianer, he's setting things up with Phoenix flying on around. 3 of them trying to transition to the other side. The Marines just going for a few shots here and there, but here comes the Graviton Beams easily picking apart these lone Marines. But in the face of overwhelming numbers, the jet planes still have to retreat. 2 SCVs have fallen on down. Harassment is on point. And what is going to be the composition here for Krystianer? He's going to go for Robo Facility instead. And it seems like from the first game in this set, he wants to have the Stargate and the Robo Facility at the same time, just so he can choose the way he wants to counter his opponent. He felt like all those drops were just way too much to handle. Well, for Krystianer, he's still flying around, well, with all these Phoenixes, that's for sure. Oh. With the mind settling up for the defense, I like the forward thinking here from Kelazhur so far. Picks up 1 Phoenix, and if this is just gonna be the ball from the Phoenixes, well, they're gonna get really all that splash damage to connect on themselves. But hey, our others are coming online. We still see the standard combat stim packs as well as combat shields from our tech labs. And as soon as that's up and running, honestly, Kelazhur is good to go for the rest of the game. He just makes sure that he has enough of that firepower to really face off against Krystianer. And the Viking right now giving chase yet again. Phoenix is looking for a poke, but with all the Marines down below, there is no way it's going to survive, that's for sure. So by this point in time, it seems like Krystianer is going to be looking to use a little bit of the map to his advantage by using the Observer to get on through to the other side. Now this shouldn't be spotted by Kelazhur if Krystianer does set it up away from that missile turret, and he's going to get a lot of vision potentially by the ramp area. In the meantime though, Charlots are afoot in a Robo Bay here from Krystianer. After the initial Phoenix harassment, he is going to be going for that Colossus, but The problem here is Kelazhur is going to get that +1 very soon. In 10 seconds, he wants to go for the attack. In 10 seconds, he might be able to deal a crippling blow against his opponent. And in a second or two, he's going to go for the push with the step back. Force field though is online, but there's still a little bit of a hole. These Phoenixes will not stand a chance whatsoever against all these Marines. And the push coming to a shove. Here we go right now onto the natural. Probes are pulled. And it seems like Krystianer is running out of space and time to work with. The Marines are set on up. The Phoenix is flying on over just to pick off the medipacks, but it's just a little too late. Immortal will go down. Here comes the Colossus. Graviton beams to try and mitigate some damage, especially on the Marauder side. Here comes a desperate reinforcement cycle, and GG is called. Kelazhur is our champion. He moves on to the mid-season playoffs, and the Masters Cup qualifiers comes to an end. A 2-0 again, and it seems like this was just Kelazhur all the way. Our Brazilian Terran player doing such a good job overall. Very impressive stuff in terms of playing that bio in so many different dimensions. And well played, honestly, for Kelazhur. Big kudos to this guy. Really going to show why he's in the top 15 in the world, the #1 player from Brazil. And he can really make a case for himself to do so well into the future. But Kelazhur, just big congratulations overall. He wraps up basically who's going to be moving on over to the mid-season playoffs. So all of our qualifier slots have been filled. The only thing that's left is the top 4 OSC elite members and one from the random draw. So, you know, a little bit of luck all the way. Thank you for casting. Thank you for having me. And it was just an absolute pleasure to broadcast something like this, very different from what we do in the StarCraft 2 scene. But before we wrap things up, let's look at that map we won last time. Kelazhur takes Nightshade and Purity and Industry, and honestly, the odds were completely in his favor. The Terran has shown a lot of expertise playing the bio, and every single time he has the timing on points. Well, that is just a show. The +1 is his gun, and as soon as he gets the shot on, he is ready for action. What a showdown. What a play from our Terran player. But big props to his opponent. Big props to our Protoss player Krystianer for looking to find some answers. And it feels like, in terms of theory, he has it on point. But in execution, it's just a little too late. The numbers and the micro in favor of Kelazhur, and he has shown his true expertise here in the OSC Super Series and Masters Cup qualifiers. It has been a long day of StarCraft 2 for me, and I'm just glad to have been able to bring you guys this action. Well played there to Kelazhur, winning that one out, and he joins Goblin, Mana, Uthermal, Blythe, Solar Vanya, Gerald, Dynamite Cham, as well as Pili Pili. So he's gonna be our third Terran representative. We have 4 Protoss, we have 3 Terran, and 4 Zerg so far, with 5 more members to get the join on. So it's gonna be very interesting to see the mid-season playoffs this month. And if you guys need a refresher on how that's gonna work, let me show you real quick before we end. So we're basically done with the 5 tournaments to be played within the 24 hours every week, that kind of thing. We got the Masters Cup, we got Battle of the Americas, we got the Community Opens, we got the Sunday Showdowns, we got the Australian Opens, all done and dusted. So those had leaderboards basically, and the top players from each tournament leaderboard qualifier has advanced, which we just enumerated there. So the top players did face off. They were the ones at the top of their respective branch, and that allowed them to face off for those 11 spots. Now, it does allow a few other members though to join on in, because from the 5 series finals qualifiers, which are basically open to everyone, the other 6 from the open qualifiers only included the OSC elite members. So now, beyond all of that, the top 4 OSC elite members are going to be joining on in, and 1 from the random draw, so that will be 11 there from OSC elite, and then 5 from the series finals qualifier. So it really goes to show there is an opportunity truly for anyone to shine under the OSC Super Series program. Now, with the mid-season playoffs starting off very, very soon within this month, if I remember correctly, it does have that 1,500 US dollar prize pool, which is pretty ridiculous, honestly. That's a lot of money. And this is the first one of this year. So the winner will be guaranteed at least a top 20 seed, and top 16 will get some money there. Move on over to the Season 8 Championship overall throughout the year. But there you go, guys. I hope you understood the program because I honestly just understood it as I kept on going with explaining it. I'm like, the first time I'm like, what is going on? And then you look into the brackets, look into the setup, and like, oh, that's how it works. Oh, that's how it works. And it's really, really interesting. I'm glad to have been part of it. I'm glad to have seen it in action. And you can really see the level of competition the OSE Super Series is going to be bringing to the table to begin with. So kudos to OSC for the setup like this. And thank you guys for tuning on in. We have our winner, our Terran player Kelazhur, moving on over to fill up that last spot. And oh, look at the time. Do we have time? Are we gonna get another cast on? Am I gonna be that much of a mascot myself? But first things first, I'm gonna grab some dinner and I'm gonna decide what's next on the agenda for tonight. But it has been fun, it has been great. We have been here for StarCraft 2 action for so long. And in the end, we can see that human integrity and ingenuity are gonna be standing tall. It's been fun, it's been great. I've been Dax, and this has been the OSC Super Series Mid-Season Playoffs Masters Cup Qualifier.